A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Zapolo, and you are watching the Excellent Life program. Today, we are so privileged to have two distinguished gentlemen. They're going to be introducing themselves to you. And in case you have friends who are not watching, why don't you call them and let them know the Excellent Life program has started. It's a special program, and we're going to be talking about the Africa Renewal University. And today I'm honored to have on my left Pastor Peter Kasirivu.
Excited to be here, Apollo.
Thank you so much for joining us. And on my far left, still, we are glad to have Pastor Jeff Atherstone. You're very much welcome.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Viewers, it's a special program about the Africa Renewal University. And I'll start with Pastor Peter. We would like to know the background to Africa Renewal University. What is Africa Renewal University? How did it begin? And
The story began several years ago. God gave us a burden, and the burden was to help this nation by training its leaders, because we have this passion and this vision to raise leaders that will transform Africa. So we came up with this idea, and that idea ended up with a school beginning at Gaba, and it was called Gaba Bible Institute. And that's about 8 years ago. We rented a little house, and we started with 30 students. And as we went along, the numbers increased, and the numbers increased, and we overran the property where we were. And Jeff can tell you, how did we end up moving from Gaba, and we ended up changing names.
It was absolutely amazing. We knew we wanted to stay near the heart of Uganda. So from the taxi park in the center of Kampala, we went out every major road, no further than 20 kilometers in any direction, out Jinja Road, Gayaza Road, Bambo Road, Mityana Road, Masaka Road, and Tibi Road. And it was absolutely amazing. God gave us a property that's over 20 acres that had a bankrupt secondary school on it. So we were able to start with the classrooms, the offices, the dining hall, the hostels, and we've been able to convert it and transform it into a university.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
what is unique about Africa Renewal University?
You know, what we believe is that great leaders bring great transformation. And what we believe is unique about our school is that we're focused on training leaders for every sector of society.
That's right.
We started training pastors, and we saw how effective they were at transforming the lives of their people. And so we thought, what if we started training up social workers and community leaders and politicians and lawyers and educators and business people? Imagine if we had Christian leaders transforming every sector of society. So that is what we really feel that we're called by God to do, is raise up a great generation of African leaders.
Pastor Peter, if I may get back to you, still talking about leadership.
That's right.
How do you see the church rising up to this cause in relation to the university?
You know, we all know that Africa is one of the most endowed continents on the planet. I would say we have all the natural resources that God gave to this continent. We have the rivers, we have the lakes, we have the sunshine. But our biggest challenge is that we've not had as many positive, good leaders as we would have had. And this is what I've found. You cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have, you can't give. So we realize that the only way the continent can change is to raise leaders who have got a spirit and a heart. And what I've found out is that even as the Bible says, man is sinful. Man's heart is sinful. So if God changes the heart of a person, that person has potential to be a change agent. So the difference between our university and many other universities is that we are not only dealing with academics, we're also dealing with heart issues. When someone's heart is changed and you help them to have better character, and then you academically train them, then those people are most likely going to do better work when they get out of university. So we are providing character training, leadership training, and then we are giving them the skills that any university can give.
Wow.
That's a great combination.
Thank you, Pastor Peter. Pastor Jeff, getting back to you again. I know you are the hands-on man right there. I would like to know more about the programs that you offer, the financial implications. Who joins the university?
Now we're starting, of course, as a Christian university. We have the Bachelor's of Theology to train pastors and people who are going to be Christian counselors and leaders in the Christian community. We also have started bachelor's degrees in social work and social administration, bachelor's degrees in community development, a bachelor's degree in community health, which is very much like public health, and yet the focus is really having the community solve the answers to their health needs, which makes it a bit distinct from public health. And we also have a program in child development. We know in Uganda there's over 1 million children who've lost a mother, a father, or both. And so we have sponsorship projects and we have child development projects all across the country. But still, many of these children are not getting the help they need. And so the Bachelor's in Child Development is specifically to help these children reach their full potential in life as they start their own families. Those are the first 5 programs. We plan to add 2 to 3 bachelor's degree programs every year. So right now our staff is working on a bachelor's degree in business administration. We're also working on a bachelor's degree in disability studies. We know that so many people in Africa suffer from different disabilities, whether they're physical disabilities or mental disabilities. We're also starting a bachelor's degree in special education. You know, in our schools in Uganda, so many children are left behind. They say that child is slow, or that child is just stubborn. Instead of actually diagnosing and saying, maybe this child has a learning disability. Maybe this child learns differently from other children. And we want to start that special education program so we're improving the secondary schools and primary schools across the country.
Wow, thank you, Pastor Jeff. You talked about the pastoral training. And I would like Pastor Peter, you address this more, because I think we have lots of church leaders who have not gone through formal education. How can someone, what's the urgency for this education to a pastor?
That Bible that we read and study is a rich Bible, and it was written in different languages. And that Bible, as rich as it is, we need to be trained on how to interpret it in order to help train other people. So what I really believe as a Christian leader is that if we are going to have churches that are strong, we need also to train the people that are leading our churches. Now, I know not many of us have had that opportunity, but opportunity is there. But the biggest challenge I have with my brothers and sisters is that they say, no, that doesn't work. They say, oh, the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. But you know what? Jesus said that the Spirit will remind you all the things that I taught you. So this is what I believe, that what Jesus taught, the Spirit energized. And we have the opportunity to be taught by the people that have been taught. Then the Holy Spirit will energize that. So that's why I really feel that all ministers should seek the opportunity of being trained. And by getting that training, they will do better ministry for our people. So that's what I believe.
And on that, Pastor Jeff, I would like you to tell us, how is your tuition structure?
You know, one of the great challenges in Uganda is I see so many brilliant people unable to reach university. And if they're not able to reach university, their future is limited. Their job options, they'll go to an interview in the city and the people will just laugh and say, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
And so one of our commitments starting the university is we actually started with the lowest tuition fees in the country. Right now, you can apply for a bachelor's degree, pay your tuition and your room and board, all your full fees. You could do a bachelor's degree for 1.2 million per term. That includes your housing, your food, your tuition, your student council fee, everything. Because what we want to do is we want to make education accessible.
Yeah.
So many people in this country, they're sponsoring a child or they're helping with their brother's child. And if they don't help that child reach university, that child will grow up, they'll have babies, and their children will need help too. But if you put someone through university, they'll help others. You see, university breaks this cycle of poverty. Right. So the more people we could help get to university, the more people we could help in communities and families across the country.
Wow. And we should say thank you for that, because sometimes education seems a high mountain for someone to climb. But when you come up with that principle that everyone should have access to education, I think that's a revolution in our education system. Thank you so much. Viewers, we're going to have a short break, and we'll be back more with the Africa Renewal University. Stick to that dial.
Welcome to GCC Today. Here are the headlines. The marriage on a special date night. The Vakis Fellowship starts today. And in our regional news, the GCC Missions Ministry to deliver aid to Gulu. I am Dennis Onen with the news in detail. Following the recent outbreak of a civil war in South Sudan, over 45,000 families have been displaced from their homes. After several weeks of collecting donations to aid many who have now become refugees, members of the GCC Missions Ministry are set to travel to camps in Gulu so as to deliver the aid.
We are now in our final stages of preparation to take these donations that you've just given to us as a church. We have received donations like shoes, clothes, women, children clothes, and men clothes. What a wonderful thing that you people have responded to. It is a big love that you've shown our friends from Southern Sudan who are going through this trouble of war. I am very grateful, more so on behalf of the church, for the response that you've done. I can't imagine what the other part on the other side are going to be happy about. You can see the students from the high college have come to help us, and all other people like the pastors are also around, church members are around. Everyone is really very busy trying to sort out, and we are very excited about this. I can't believe, but I do believe it, that it's going to be a big blessing for you because you have given. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor Chris. For those who want to join, please visit the missions office. The 2014 edition of the Marriage Fellowship will be resuming in style. All marrieds have been called upon to come for a special date night that will be taking place on the 23rd of February. Let's hear from Francis.
Our desire is to challenge all men, married and courting, to challenge marriages to grow, the men to be the character that we desire them to be and what God desires them to be. Come and enjoy courageous and learn and be challenged.
Thank you, Francis. And if you're a man, you are required to come along with your wife. Aside from the date, the fellowship has been scheduled to take place every last Sunday of the month. Let's go for a commercial break and we will be back.
Tell your neighbor you can stop. Okay? The best is stop before you sin. But what if you sin?
Since December 2013, the women have been planning to launch their fellowship. According to a report from the Office of the Women's Ministry, the fellowship is set to resume on the 22nd of February.
This will take place on Saturday, the 22nd of February from 4:30 p.m. at the terrace. There will be lots of eats, drinks, fellowship. We shall have a word from our patron. Abashala mwena miaka 18 n'okudda waggulu mujje tutandikire wamu omwaka.
Thank you very much, Harriet. And now to end our news, we welcome the senior pastor back home. Please be informed with more.